Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Thank y'all so much for stopping by. I really appreciate it, man. Thank y'all so much for all your support. We got a good one today. Shout out to the NTZ crew, Jacob Tanjay, front and center. I know Michael Beach of Life will be on her. All my fourth quarter members, man, we had a good live stream the other day. I shared some with my regular audience because I was traveling yesterday. I just wanted to give them the 72-hour rule and the 12 riches of life. Even though I know people don't like to learn, they want to be entertained, not educated. What's up, Paragraphics? What's up, Obi-Wan Denobi? All my old heads, there's Doubtful Genius on here. I appreciate y'all, man. Any new viewers and subscribers joining us today, thank you. And anybody catching this on replay, what's up? Kamal, what's up? Gregory, Blizzard Abroad, what's up? Let us know when your next live stream is, man. We're going to live stream bomb you. I already asked everybody to do that. The next time Blizzard Abroad, we want to get at least 100 people on there and shake up the algorithm, man. Let's help Blizzard Abroad. What's up, Raw Diggity? All my fourth quarter members, I always salute you guys. Dre Diggity. What's up, Eric Terry? Let's hook up, man. The peso is 60.69. Y'all heard that correct. 60.69. Racing towards 61. I told you it's going to hit 65 by the end of the year because this war is not going to end anytime soon. It's not. As a matter of fact, I was listening to a general this morning. He says, don't be surprised if America strikes Iran this weekend. But what would he know? He only has inside information. And I saw where they got a army soldier now, a little guy for inside trading on the Maduro capture over in Venezuela, right? He had some inside information and, he bet and won 400,000. Now they're going to get him, but all the upper echelon people, they're not going to touch him. They always find some little guy to make an example of. Man, we better wake up, guys. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, hit the like button, y'all. He said the Rams drafted Ty Simpson. What, in the first round? What's up, crazy black man? But yeah, this thing's racing toward 61. Chris, what's the peso in the DR? Because that's the only one that usually is up there with the Philippines. It's usually around 60 anyway. But it's 60.69. This has to be a record. What's up, Thomas? Oh, he was the second quarterback taken. What? So what pick did he go? What are they looking at? But then they give Shedeur Sanders all kind of hell. This is crazy, man. But anyway, I didn't watch that. I know it's on right now. But we got a topic. We always have a topic. 13th pick. Wow. And the way he played in his last showing with Alabama, man, they still gave him a 13th pick. And Shedeur went all the way down to the 5th round. But now he's starting. He's basically going to be starting for Cleveland. They're going to eventually have to pay him. See, that's universal law. The universe is always watching. What's up, Roger? Oh, okay. So, hell, the peso in the Philippines jumped the DR. The DR is usually way up there. Yeah. Shadua was duped, but that's the system in America. But yeah, we're going to talk about the 10 reasons men have given up on dating Filipinas. You know, I talked about it today because a lot of my viewers, they just won't watch a live stream. They don't understand a live stream. This is more than just a vlog. This is a live stream. This is like a meet and greet, a get together. You know, all we need is for Sheldon to break out the grill. Yeah, the Rams are tripping, man. What's up, Marky Mark? Yeah, I saw your comment. You said that in the polar, that's basically a remote office. But listen, guy, listen to me. You don't have to take any more of my information. Do not let these people hold on to your passport that long. Anything can happen in 2 or 3 weeks. Go ahead and get on that fast cat and go to Dumaguete. It's only 3 hours. Or catch the bus down to Zamboanga, 8 hours. Spend the day down in Zamboanga, come on back. Don't let them people hold on to your passport, man. Okay, I'm just, that's a suggestion. All you got to do is get on that fast cat. You 3 hours from Dumaguete. Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, he said the upper echelons are doing the same thing. 190 million bet on if a ceasefire would happen that the upper echelons made the money. Yeah, a soldier didn't do that. Hypocrisy, all the inside trading on oil and war. Yeah, you know they're going to get somebody, Mopar, down at the bottom. Just to make the public think, oh, we're doing something about it. You know good and damn well, I told y'all the other day, they bet $760 million right before Trump announced the ceasefire. 15 minutes, guys. Come on. But it's the system we live in. And to 2028, whoever runs, man, they got to convince the people that shit's going to be different. That you're not going to get in there and do the same damn thing y'all been doing. This is the silver lining in the black cloud, which is Trump. We're going to put these people's feet to the fire now. We're not falling for the okie doke anymore. What's up, John? He said, checking in from Cagayan de Oro. Man, I love Cagayan de Oro. He says, I think guys are just seeing that relationships are more trouble than it's worth. I personally think it depends on the individuals involved. It always does. It always does, but a lot of us, man, only fools rush in. I just think that when I started coming over here, there just wasn't a whole lot of information. There's too much information out here now for people to be crashing out and falling for the bullshit that we fall for, giving away all the money and all that stuff. You know what I'm saying? We put up with a lot of shit over here, guys. And when you see these guys getting on here talking about, how great their relationship is, it's because they pussy whip. That's what they are. They henpecked. And it makes me mad. All right, man, I hear you. I like Cagayan de Oro. I really like. I got a good friend there, built a beautiful house. He built it. He's like an engineer, contractor in America. He hired his own crew, and they built this house, man. It's beautiful. It wasn't quite done when we were there 3 years ago. It's done now, I'm sure. He said, free game. I go to SM Mega Mall in BGC to renew mine. I always ask for the same lady that works there. I won't say her name. Only go on the day she works, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. Very friendly. Yeah, don't give anybody your passport and let them hold it for 2 or 3 weeks. Don't do that, guys, over here. Okay, you live and you learn, but you can't keep doing that. I went to Bacala yesterday, and this lady sharp. She's still there. That's the reason why we fell out. She was too sharp. She caught the mistake that they missed in Dumaguete. When they gave me that extra year. It just pissed me off because she wasn't going to stop until she reversed that. But now, if you go there, man, I promise you, you hand her your passport and the application. I'm not gonna lie. Within seconds, man, not a minute, seconds. She's showing you that calculator. 5,220 pesos, sir. You give them the money. 1 minute later, the man is giving you your extension. Now they've got the stamps again. You don't have to keep up with all them damn receipts. They're fast, man. He said, my point is to build relationships in immigration. You still have to pay the express fee, but if they start seeing you, they will return your passport much quicker. Just be nice to people. Well, if you go to Zamboanga, they're going to do it fast. They'll do it for you. There's so few people that come there. I don't care what you need done. It's always going to be fast in Zamboanga because, see, you got to understand, man, Zamboanga has really went to a whole other level now. They just opened up a SM city, a gigantic one. And it doesn't have that scary reputation anymore. You don't have to be afraid to go there. I mean, he's in Mindanao already, so you're there already. Hey, what's up? Yeah, yeah, but you go to Manila, that's why. He said she holds my passport no more than 1 hour. There was nobody there. Do you hear me, man? I'm in Bacolod. A lot of expats live there. This is a expat alley. This is a big city. It's not quite as big as Cebu, but Bacolod's a big city. Nobody was there. And you in and out of there. The biggest thing for me was the bus ride. 2.5 hours, but I went up there, I ate. I forgot to put the damn Mexican restaurant on there too. It's a nice place, but if you ever decide to go, it just looks like an abandoned building because the Grab man let me out across the street because he looked at it. He's like, well, it's showing there, but that's an empty lot. It's not an empty lot. And I explained that on the little 3-minute video I did of it. The food is delicious. Because people always complain about they need more Mexican restaurants in the Philippines. Well, they've got one in Bacolod. That one for sure. He said, I believe it's too many vloggers shedding a bad light on Filipino women. They're not all bad, just cultural difference. Yeah, not everybody is anything. What times it travels. But you do need the facts, guys. You need the facts. We can't keep sugarcoating it and saying, oh, everything's okay. We have to give you some information so that you can see the red flags. There's people who are actually losing their money. There are people who are having games run on them. We all are, really. We're all, you can't win over here, to be honest with you. You make a decision. Yeah, I'm going to go over there and lose. That's basically all you do. If me and Merlin broke up now, I'd lose my houses, everything. I'd walk away and have to start over. But that's the agreement I signed. Okay? Culture is everything everywhere. He said, I got my new ACR card. Time goes so fast. Yeah. The good thing about an ACR card, guys, listen to this. It's valid for a year. Whether you leave the country or not. No matter how many times you go back and forth. That's important because when you come back, you get 30 days, right? Then after your 30 days, they give you 29 days. Then when you go back, they automatically apply for their ACR card unless you show it to them and say, hey, I already got it. Otherwise, they're going to charge you again. So it's very important that you understand that. Okay, next Friday. Okay, so you've been here 3 weeks? I would go already, man. Don't wait till the last minute, guys. Okay, I'd go Monday, John. Don't wait. Anything could happen. Give it a few days. Yeah, yeah. It's not that bad. He said immigration fees are like 500 a year in the Philippines, which really isn't bad when you think about it. Okay, that's what it's about because when you add in that ACR card, it kind of bumps it up a little bit. But yeah, about that. How far is Osama's from you, uh, Marky Mark? Because I know somebody else uh, was doing that too before. It's a nice little bus ride, but at least you'll get it right back. Don't hand them people your card like that. Hey man, I'm glad you on here. And I was waiting for you to be on here before I said anything about this. But y'all know Sir Ron a lot. He's a longtime member of the Sunshine Shows community. They recently lost their baby son, man. And I just want to send our sincerest condolences to you, Ryan. I met Ryan and his wife when she was pregnant with the baby and their other son who looks just like him in Dumagetti. We were both getting our extension. Then, of course, he came to my meet and greet before. And it's really a sad situation. I won't go into any detail, but Ryan's been on here for a long time, man. 15-month-old son, man, died tragically. I can't imagine it. You're a strong man, Ryan. And whatever I told you, whatever you want me to do, man, if I can do it, I will. Yeah, yeah. Ron's a real deal, man. Honestly, he is. And Ryan lives not far from where that skirmish between the NPA and the military. 19 people were killed. That's about, what's it, about an hour from me, Ryan? Yeah, man, it was a big skirmish, man. 19 people was killed. Some of them were caught in the crossfire from what I'm reading, but some of them were actually part of the NPA. Yeah, man, everybody's giving their condolences, guys. I can't even imagine it. I can't imagine. Here's the thing, though. Only a couple of days before it happened, I asked him, because we go back and forth on WhatsApp. I said, hey, man, is your little man walking yet? And he sent me a video of the little fella in his crib. He said, man, this guy's all over the place. But yeah. He said, thanks, everybody. It's just crazy, man. But yeah, let's talk about this for a little while, because I remember when the Philippines reopened, and man, Beach of Life can bear witness to this, man. We had a lot of meet and greets. A lot of people was coming over here. It seemed like it was a nonstop party. I mean, it was a lot. One time we went out in Cebu, it had to be 20 of us, maybe more. And we had went and ate at TGI Fridays, then was hanging out in front of the condo, just talking, chopping it up. Now it's like crickets, man. It's like crickets. It's really like back to normal. It's like, well, what's really going on? And it's just a whole lot of other options, number one. But I think guys are just starting to say, what do they say? The juice is not worth the squeeze for a lot of people. Now, I didn't say everybody. I said a lot of men are stepping back and saying, hold on now. Because we go through the ringer. Today, women over here, man, whether you want to believe it or not, you must be in denial. All the shit you got to go through, man, to even just to get over here. But the Philippines hasn't lost its shine. I think at the tip of the spear is these damn dating sites. Men are just have lost their patience with these dating sites. They don't know how to navigate them. They don't know how to find a good woman on there. The trouble you got to go through. The trouble you have to go through, man, to find a decent woman, and all the hoops you got to jump through, and you may have to meet 4 or 5 of them before you meet a good one. They're saying, okay, that's okay. Yeah, that's a good idea. This is a good idea right here. Instead of just sitting around eating. Are you going to be in Cebu? Maybe you can set that up. Yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah, he said I just watched a video on how the Philippines are losing tours, mostly Koreans and Chinese, and they're not traveling everywhere. They've stopped going to Thailand. That's how Vietnam shot up, in Malaysia. Uh, but you're right. But one thing that holds the Philippines back, they've got all these beautiful beaches and these tourist places, but it's just so hard to get there. If they could just make it easier for people to get to these places, their numbers would go up, man. That's the number one complaint that a lot of tourists say. It's like, I mean, one for one, the Philippine beaches are better than Thailand's. They have more of them. But getting to them, good luck. Good luck. I don't know, Ron. How would you know if you've never been over here? He said, Cal, it's still less money pressure than here in the USA. As far as what? As far as what? No, we're going to get to that pressure. Ask some of these guys who lost millions of pesos over here, who lost their life savings over here. They were tight over there as a rat trap in America, then come over here and lose everything. Okay, here. The Coke. What Coke? Yeah, you can have it. Here. You got 40%. There. But yeah, that's the number one thing, guys. People, it's just you got to go through so much trouble, and you get frustrated, man. Women asking you for money. It might be a lady boy on the other end. You getting all these messages from these bots and everybody and scammers. He said, I've been bowling at SM Mall in Cebu with a super gorgeous filly. I didn't even know that they had a bowling alley in SM Mall. Which one? SM City or SM? Here. What's the name of that one that's got the whichever one has that the park on top. SM Seaside. He said, this is hilarious right here. But this is the type of shit that, see, he's being real today. And that's why I like Passport X. These guys are afraid to say what they really want to say because I think their girlfriends be watching me. He says, can someone tell me why Filipinos think a foreigner is supposed to pay for 20 plus people to eat just because he likes a Filipina? See, this is what men are coming, the conclusion people are coming to. They was like, that's okay. Because that's the one of the things. It's too expensive. It's too expensive. Yeah. Thank you. He said, taking trikes, bus, ferry, grab, just to get to Cebu in one trip. That's me. We need an airport here, and I think they're trying to get one. Okay, Seaside. I didn't know that, Beach of Life. See, here's the thing. I don't believe dating is any different anywhere else, but it's the illusion, DSAC, that is different over here. That's what gets us. It's the illusion that it's different here. He says, I paid for 60 to eat at Yakimis XMC side, but that was for our wedding reception. Oh, okay, yeah, well, hell, that that makes uh that makes a lot of sense. He says, I've been a gold member for some time now. I just want to say thank you to all of you, especially you, Cal. I've spent 1.2 million pesos before coming here and been saving ever since. Wow. What do you mean you spent 1.2? You mean, how many times? You've been coming here a long time then. He says, from what I've heard from so many over there, is if you don't get involved right away. Yeah, you can use the 72-hour rule, but I don't care what you tell a man. There's nothing you can tell a man who's coming out with dry spell, thirsty, lonely, chronic loneliness, and that young woman's waiting for him at the airport. He said the difference is dating is more bountiful there than where? Cambodia? Vietnam? It's a game, man, okay? It's not really more bountiful. Remember, it's a trap. Okay? It's an illusion. And you have to work through that illusion. He says, so is it a rule? You have to help the Philippines family also. Well, see, what happens is we don't have to do anything, but we do it, DSAC. That's the thing. We do a lot of stuff that we don't have to do, but it just seems, like they said, like the guy said, do they expect to pay for 20 people? I was got like that before. I paid for more than 20 when I was at the engagement party, right? She talked me into an engagement party, and I'm thinking it's just going to be, her family, where she had 2 brothers, her mother and father, and the grandmother. What's that, 6? And then a few of her friends. No, it was the whole damn barangay in northern Mindanao. I fed a whole barangay, guys. I'm telling you, in 2009. And I wasn't able to get the tune up that night. You know why? Because the custom was that we had to stay there in the province. We couldn't go back together to the hotel. Crazy, right? Crazy. Oh, wow. He says, I was that man, dry spell, times 3 years, 1.2 million pesos later, lesson learned. I'm the statistic. See, I didn't know that. I really didn't know that. Yeah, I don't deal with them. I don't deal with those buffets, even though they've got some good buffets here. I just don't deal with them because I did it one time. I'm telling you, this was 2010. I was still with my son's mother. She was pregnant. We went to a buffet right there by Robinson Fuentes Circle. The food just wasn't hot to me. He said, what's hurting us on the dating sites are the guys on there that don't have any intentions on coming to the Philippines. Yeah, that's a great point. One that's been made so many times. They're sending a lot of money. The armchair bros. I told you, Sheldon, they're funding all of this. It's not the guys who are coming back and forth. It's the guys who will never come over here. They're funding all of this madness over here. Because Merlin told me this morning, what's up, Ryan, that the reason why there's so many young women in the gym now, because they're playing peekaboo online. They're getting paid online. They got certain little websites now where women can go on there and show themselves and get paid. See, I don't I haven't been online like that in a long time. I didn't know. But yeah, so you'll see them young girls in the gym, man, looking good, and you're thinking that they're innocent. No, they're shaking that tail feather, man, and getting paid. He says, from my research so far, here in Thailand, a lot of girls here on the dating sites are freelancers. Some probably won't even tell you that until you already paid for their dinner. Yeah, this is what I've been noticing. And a guy did a video about him. I'm almost sure you can look it up. He was talking about um, they'll take the girl off of Soy 6 or wherever Walking Street and say, hey, look, I'll give you, $800-900 a month. Just stay with me. And that's what they do. So they'll travel around with them, make videos with them and everything. These women are, they're freelancers. But if you want your channel to grow like that, it's a good trade-off. If you can make that money, if you can earn that money back, which if you get you a baddie over here or in Thailand or wherever who's willing to do that, you say, hey, I give you $700-800 a month. Just travel around with me, among other things, and be on my videos. You're gonna earn your money back more than likely. Because there's a lot of mongers in our audience. They want to see that. That's what they want to see. He said it's almost expected for you to give her family food or money. You're looked at as the rich guys. Welcome. Yeah, that's a fact. And, we always talk about, I'm glad you brought this up because it made me think of something. We're always talking about people going broke over here, but we never talk about what happens after you go broke. And the last person to leave, the woman's not going to leave right away because she's not going to believe you initially. She thinks you're rich. She thinks that your money will never end. So it's going to take a while. Them old so-called friends, them old fair weather friends, they're going to leave before she will. She's going to hold on to the bitter end until she sees that this guy's broke. I'm out of here. But we never talk about what happens. Because people go broke gradually, then suddenly. You already cultivating bad habits now, overspending, living beyond your means, and then pretty soon, one day you're going to look up and you're going to fall off the cliff. He said, you got to help the family worldwide. You're not going to escape paying. You don't pay, another man will pay. Keep playing the cheap Charlie game. You end up like homeboy on BMT crying. Yeah, but hell, he was paying. From what he was saying. You know many, or you heard of many. He said not all Filipinos have full families. But I know every foreigner's paying. I don't care how many people in your family. He said, I know many that are the only child. Who? How many do you know? I don't buy that. You don't know no many. Because you don't know many people over here. Okay? Maybe you've heard about it. I'm not buying that. You probably can't count outside of her family the number of Filipinos you know on one hand. Don't come on here with that foolishness. I'm not buying it. You don't know no many nothing. You know that many of us are spending every single day. We don't get a break. Okay? And this is why I say we all end up losing. Because she can easily say, oh, I don't feel like it today. Well, you can't say that when the water bill is due. Oh, my headache. I've been doing everything else. Now give me a break. You don't get a break. But yeah, the trouble. Number two is too far away. Too far away, guys. And listen to this. We make it seem normal to fly across to the other side of the planet to see a woman. Like it's nothing. Young, fresh, global travel. I'm not picking on you, but you're getting ready to come here now. Like it's nothing. Like, it's like you're going to Chicago. We make it seem like it's normal to fly all the way over there for 2 weeks, go back home, get our money back together, and then come back and do it again. And we think that's normal. And these long distance rentals is what they are. Which is just, you want to talk about madness. Let everything work. Let her be who she says she is. And she's really into you. And y'all really have the best 2 weeks of your life. And then you got to go back. And you're not going to see her for another 3, 4, 6 months. See, this is why guys are like, nah, it's okay, man. I'm just go over on vacation. If something happens, it happens. If not, okay. But I'm not going to get caught up in that LDR stuff. And traveling all over there. That trip is brutal. If you've never been over here. That's the reason why men eventually stay. Okay, when you come over here, you have that good time. And you think, oh man, I really like the Philippines. I could live here. You start coming up with a plan where you can stay because you know that trip is brutal. You can't be making, as you get older, man, you ain't going to be making that trip like that. Okay, I'm sorry. You're lying. Yeah, this would be good. See, this would be good. But we're not going to do it. Andrew, he said, learning from expats and forming a brotherhood before dipping the toes in. But we don't learn anything because we're the exception. My girl's not like that. I'm not like that. Just like the guy said, Mr. Boone, oh, I know many Filipinos who are the only one in their family. Yeah, right. That's bullshit. You don't know many Filipinos, period, over here. Unless you're a Filipino behind that profile. Otherwise, that's not true. I mean, how many would you know? I don't even know. I don't think I know one. Yeah, I've been here 17 years. All of a sudden, he knows many. He says, I like the Philippines, but I couldn't do it. The transportation is ridiculous. Also, a lot of the technology that I'm used to, I couldn't find there. Or it was hard to get. You know, the infrastructure and stuff doesn't bother me. Yeah, but of course, I'm 62. I'm not trying to build an atomic bomb or anything like that. Okay, I'm okay with that. But a lot of the things that I used to think I was okay with, I'm not okay with anymore. You know, you wake up one day, man, you snap out of that euphoric recall. And he was like, I'm caught up over here. He said, yeah, that's quite a fight. It is. But we do it like it's nothing. You know, my little buddy, William, from down in Savannah, Georgia, the last time he left, when he got to Japan, he said, why is the plane, that turbulence always so bad over Japan? I said, I think because of the mountains, man. That's the only time I ever have turbulence, if I have to fly into Japan. Otherwise, most of the time you're flying over water, so there's not going to be any turbulence or very little turbulence. Because I didn't realize that. I was like, why are my flights to the Philippines so smooth? And I looked it up. Most of the time you're over water. That's why when you get on a plane here in the Philippines and you go somewhere from one city to the next, it's a smooth flight because most of it's over water. He said, I brought a ring and guarding this thing with my life on the plane. I hear you. Yeah, it is exhausting. That's a good word for it. You can only watch so many movies Now, if you're in first class, that's a different story. But most of us don't fly first class. He said that flight from the States to the Philippines is exhausting. I don't think I ever want to fly that far again. That's why I've only been one time in 8 years. You know, my family thinks, oh, you don't want to see us. No, I love to see y'all. I miss y'all. But I'm over here now. He said, so hard to leave too. Yeah. We don't want that. Okay. It's too expensive. You know, some guys, they want to come here, but they can't afford it. The flight, the hotel, the time, the food, everything else. Okay, I try to give you a break when you come to the guest house. People can appreciate that. I'm like, look, man, don't worry about nothing. You don't have to pay to stay there. You can eat with us. I'm going to let your pockets cool down because you spend from the time you land to the time you take off. And some guys just don't have it. They don't have the money to come over here. It's too expensive. So even if they wanted to date a Filipino, even if they wanted a Filipino girlfriend or wife, they can't do it. So they turn into an expat. They wait for you to bring your woman over there and things go topsy-turvy and then they date her. It happens all the time. But I don't want your leftovers. I did that one time, man, when I was in the service, man. And all these years later, I'm embarrassed about it. Because me and the guy was cool. But what happened was he went off to, he was in the Marines, I was in the Navy, but we was on the same base in Millington, Tennessee. And he was fortunate, you know, it was like a promotion for him, something he wanted to do to become a drill sergeant. He went out to drill sergeant school. Well, we should hang out all the time, and his girl would always be there. Well, hell, when he left, she's trying to give me the thing. I'm only 19, though, and she's like 20-something. So she basically took advantage of me. Really. You know, I couldn't turn it down. But even all these years later, 40-some odd years later, I feel embarrassed about it. So, no, I don't want your leftovers. He said, can you buy land in the Philippines since you're a resident? I'm not a resident. But there's ways you can do it, guys. You know, but you got to get a lawyer. You got to talk to some legal people over here. I always tell you, I don't practice Philippine law without a license. I'm not a lawyer. But when I tell you this, though, when I stayed, we went to Sapalay, not Sapaway, Sapalay. And the resort we stayed in was owned by French and German. And the lady, you know, she said it was like some type of foundation or something. Some way they was able to own that thing. He said the plane ride was not normal for me. That freaking flight was brutal for me. 21 hours and a lot of turbulence. Yeah. See, I didn't get a lot of turbulence. You're coming from where, Texas? And see, that's what I don't care. I'm terrified of turbulence, even though I know I'm not going to fall out of the sky. He says, it's not really the plane ride that gets me. What gets me is standing in line for customs right after you're done taking a 17, 18-hour flight. But hell, I feel good. I'm so excited, man. You know, like when I went to Vietnam, you know, because I'm really, you know, I'm off the plane. I'm on vacation. That 17, 18-hour flight, I could do custom standing on my head paragraphics. Hey, Southern Purchase, thanks for that super chat. He said, what's happening more? The next pet Filipino posse getting her to leave her man after she gets what she wants. Well, honestly, Southern Purchase, when you take a woman there, I would say 98% of the women stay. They do exactly what they say they're going to do. Do you break up? My wife never fooled around. Everybody, let me tell you this. This is a fact. All of the couples that we used to go every twice a month and have a barbecue and stuff, they're still together. Except for one guy, he committed suicide. But everybody else is still together except for me and my wife. If they're going to run off, man, they're going to run off over here. She's going to show you who she is long before she gets over there. This is why I would say use the K1 visa. That way you can watch her for 90 days. I watched my wife for 60 days, even though we had been together for 4 years before I bought over there. She never gave me any problem. The problem was coming back here. I promise you, man, more than likely, man, they just don't run off. They're already in Disneyland. They're already in Disneyland. Southern Purchase. Their life's only going to get better. Staying with you. They get over there, they don't know anybody. But what the support group does is they give her that information just in case. Because a lot of them has already been through it. So just like I'm sharing with you my experiences, they do the same thing. They say, yeah, here's what's going to happen if y'all break up. You can still get the 10-year green card. You can still get the U.S. citizenship without him. And they show her how to do it. They'll even introduce her to somebody if y'all break up. But for the most part, they're just going to be a support group. What's up, Kang? He says, salute to you, Cal. Sir, I think the glamour of the Philippines is wearing off due to not just the foreign vloggers. May I say yourself included, given the nitty-gritty, but Filipino vloggers themselves. Well, like I said today, it's not, the glamour of the Philippines is not rubbing off. It's these dating sites that's rubbing off. See, they're the gatekeeper. This is what gets guys to come over here to begin with. This is where, the rubber hits the road. Because once you get over here, man, if you're just a normal human being, I don't know what y'all looking for when y'all get to a place like this. I'm on vacation every single day. Here it is, man. I don't care. It could be deep in December. The sun is shining. You see, I just came from Bohol, Boracay. It's so many beautiful places here. What about the Philippines don't you like? I mean, I get it. We're spoiled. We're soft in a lot of ways. We want what we want, but the Philippines is still all that to me, man. If it wasn't, I'd have been gone. I'm not trying to build the place up, but the vloggers have nothing to do with it. We don't even scratch the surface, Kane. You can't blame that on us. When you get over here, chances of you seeing one of these vloggers are going to be slim to none. Remember, I said that. When you land in Cebu, you land in Manila, any of those places, even if you go to Dumaguete, and where they're supposed to have all these vloggers, you're not going to run into these vloggers. You're not even going to see them. Oh, I did. I did enjoy myself. I really did, man. I could stay there. I could stay. I just love the beach. But no, y'all can't be blaming these vloggers. You got to come to the Philippines yourself. We just give you basically what I want to say. I guess we're sort of like the tour guide online, basically. If you ever took a tour before it came, where they try to show you what they show you in 2 hours and then that's it. There's so much shit that they don't show you. Hey, Southern Purpose, thanks for that super chat. He said, what percentage wants to move back? 0. I met one woman, but it wasn't even registered on the scale if you put all of them together that I met. But I did meet one woman who did move back. He said, do they prefer to be middle class in the U.S. or rich in the Philippines? I figured they would want to move back with their family. No, because they don't mind getting on that plane. You got to understand something, guys. Here's what you don't understand. We don't understand the struggle over here. We don't understand that some of these women are literally trying to escape this place. Their life is hell. Not because they don't love the Philippines. Remember, Filipinos are very proud. But being proud don't pay the bills. Okay? Being proud don't pay the bills, Southern Purchase. They want to work. You know, it gives them a sense of purpose. And then sending that money back. Okay? And building a future over here. But most of them want to stay over there. Man, look, my wife was working at GE in 2014 or 15. I can't remember when she got hired. She was earning like $16 an hour. Imagine that. Okay, she went from earning less than $100 a month to earning over 100 and what? She was working 8 hours a day. What? Well, 100 and about $128 a day. They love that, man. He said, some guys don't care about the Philippines. They only care about the Filipinos. Yeah, see, this is what I'm saying. And these are the ones that, you know, they're always talking about what the Philippines isn't. What it is or what it isn't. They miss everything because they got to focus on the woman. Yeah. From Cebu, getting to Baja is super easy. It is. But I'm coming from San Carlos City, so I got to catch the light ferry to Toledo City, Cebu, which is about an hour and a half. Then I've got to get on the either series or hard taxi to take me from there to Cebu City, which is another 2 hours. Then I got to catch the ferry. That's about another, they say 2 hours to Tagbilaran. Then another 15 minutes in a tricycle to Panglao. Yeah, Ryan, man, lost his son, man. I don't even like to think about it, man. I don't know. People are just so much stronger than we give them credit for. He said, Unc, these women are seeing multiple men too. It's a twist in the script. You know, this is what I'm saying about the trouble you have to go through to find a good woman. Because they're on there. We just ended up with the wrong woman, Sheldon. But you're right. This is what happens when you get the wrong woman. If you don't get a woman with character, and there's a lot of them on there, but you just got to take your time. We're only going by what they look like and what they're promising. So you may end up, because from your situation, I was fooled. She didn't fool Marilyn because of where she came from. Marilyn was like, no, that woman ain't innocent. And I was like, well, she looks innocent. Marilyn looks like she's a good girl. I was like, trust me, she's not. And I'm thinking, okay, yeah, you just mad because she's young. Nope, Marilyn was right on the money. The minute you got on the tarmac, she was making arrangements to be in Cebu with another man. You just chose the wrong one. And that's the problem a lot of guys get. They're like, man, it's just too hard to find a good one. And then it takes too long because you got to go all the way back to America to find out who am I with anyway? What do I have here? It's too many unknowns. But yeah, you're right. I mean, that happens more often than you want to believe because we're choosing the wrong women. But that's the risk. Remember, that's the next one. It's too many risks that you have to take. You got to come over here 8,000 miles just to That's a risk that you're taking. Just to come over here and figure out, just see this woman, even who she says she is. That woman did all that right there in your face. They're great actresses, by the way. And it still blew up on you. It's too much at stake, man, to be playing these damn games. That's why we got to ask more questions. You got to be more bold. Quit being a simp, really, on these dating sites. Look, lady, I'm coming 8,000 miles. Don't be playing no damn games with me. Okay? Because they don't play games with these men over here. These men put them in check over here. But they look at us different. They look at us like we weak, man. I'm telling you now, they do. Like they can control us. We're easy to control. We're easy. But you got to let her know, look, I'm not playing. Spending all this money, don't be playing with me. But we don't do it. And so they play these damn games. We don't get lucky. You just got unlucky, Sheldon. Keep going, because you're going to find somebody. Because you're a good man. And eventually, one of these ladies is going to see that, like, oh, this guy's, he's really who he says he is. They're on there. The reason I put that is, number one, because we don't have the patience. A lot of guys don't have time for the games that a lot of these women play on the dating sites. Like, fuck that, man. I ain't fooling with shit, man. He said most men want to come in these countries and scoop a woman up like SEAL Team 6. Yeah, and head on back. No. We don't need them for real. I was being lazy. I never used immigration service. Now sometimes, Robert, this is Harry Shoulders. He said, JR Consulting should open up an office in St. Paul City. They actually opened up one in Sikihor. Well, satellite office. They go over there every Friday. But you don't need them for something simple like an extension. That's why they only charge you 1,000 pesos. Because you do everything. All they do is take your information next door. You pay them $1,000 to do that. Their office is right next to the immigration office. And now I quit using them because now instead of giving it back to you the next day, they're talking 2 days now. I'm like, well, why do I even need you? So I don't use them anymore. I just get on the bus and go to Bacala, cuts the trip in half, saves me a lot of money. Because when I go to Dumaguete, I got to stay all night. That's a hotel. I got to eat. It just costs me so much money. He said, I don't push men going to any country for a woman. That I wholeheartedly agree with. But the pros and cons of Philippines, some things guys aren't in the West willing to put up with in the West or East. Yeah, that's what we're saying. That's what the video is about. Some guys just don't. They saying, I'm not going all the way over there and putting up with the shit that Sunshine Shoulders has to put up with. And all the rest of these guys are putting up with. It's sort of like the video I made the other day, but just from a different angle. Where it says, you know, a lot of people are like, well, that's okay. I'm going to skip this because I don't want to get caught up. It's too easy to get caught up over here, Kane. You know that. I would lie to you if I told you it wasn't. If I told you, you know, that more than likely you're going to be okay, but more than likely you're going to get caught up. You're either going to get married, okay, you're going to have a live-in, you're going to get somebody pregnant, you're going to go broke, you may die, you may get sick, you may get divorced. Okay, the chances of that happening are very high over here. Because of the game that's being played. When you get off the plane, man, they're waiting there at the airport for you. And when you get back to the hotel, it's like, okay, you can do whatever you want to do to me. You don't need no rubber. You don't need anything. Man, you walking into a trap. But some of us do it willingly. Because we think I can beat this. Because I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't think my equipment was working anymore. That was how the first one, my first son was born. But even after that, even it's shit's working, you can't use that excuse anymore. Hey, ISG Horn, thanks for the super chat. He said, men need to develop their emotional checklist to determine is she your lady or is it just your turn? No substitute for extending vetting. That's why I made the video the other day. We talk about vetting. What's your definition of vetting, ISG Horn? Because some guy gave a good comment. He said, guys, vetting is investigating. We don't investigate these women. We sit around and we wait for shit to pop up or for somebody to tell us something. We're not proactive as we should be. You're coming 8,000 miles. You ought to be asking every damn body. You ought to be asking the drunk on the corner. You know this woman? Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That when they told me that, but we're not being proactive, ISG Horn. We're waiting for somebody, you can wait too long. How much money you done spent? And to finally get to the point where, look at the guy. I told you, I made a mistake. I said 4 years. The guy that Rashad was talking about, that BMT and all these guys did videos on, he was with the woman 4 months. Imagine how much money he spent. All the shit he went through to find out she already got a boyfriend. Because he ain't investigating. She put the whammy on him. And his investigation was over. Investigation complete. He filed that away. He said, Uncle's 100% correct. The great majority of men refuse to play games. A good one will immediately recognize that and act accordingly. Yeah, but you got to let them know, Luis, I'm not for these games, but we don't do it. They have the impression that we're weak, guys. That's the memo that they get. Oh, he's desperate. He's weak. Okay? Because if you've ever dealt with a Filipino before, a lot of them are vain, man. And they thinking, well, why would you fly 8,000 miles over here to see me? I must be the prize. They even thinking in their mind, what's wrong with you? Coming all the way over here, spending all that money. I must be all that. You must be weak. And all I got to do is put the whammy on you. That's all I got to do. We don't vet them enough, guys. We don't vet them enough. We pull the trigger. If we could only resist the urge to go all in, but we can't do it, man. We're our worst enemy. We can't do it. But it's too expensive, man. It's too expensive. When you get right down to it, if I just added up just the plane tickets I bought to come over here. Remember, I've made 25 or 26 round trips to the Philippines. Okay? That's already another house I've already bought. And then you put the interest of 17 years on that. How much is that? You tell me that's not expensive. But at the time I'm doing it, it's nothing to me. I'm caught up. I don't see a problem traveling on the other side of the planet when I could have just went to the DR. I didn't even know anything about DR. I got tunnel vision. I'm right in the Philippines. I know what's waiting for me here. And they're saying, hey, come over here to Brazil, man. It's only 8 hours, whatever. Colombia's only 3 hours. No. I'm flying way on the other, literally on the other side of the planet. If you think that's normal, I got some swampland for sale over here in the Philippines. Okay, the stigma. Here's what y'all don't want to admit. That's why a lot of guys wouldn't dare come. Okay, to the Philippines or Thailand, not even Vietnam, certainly Cambodia. I didn't know the sex tourism was so big in Cambodia. I don't know everything. Remember, I'm in the Philippines. I'm focused here. I had no idea the sex tourism was so big over there. But once I know, and I've been watching documentaries and stuff, man, I see why a lot of guys is going over there to Cambodia. Okay, and making all these videos, all the Cambodia is this and that. The Cambodia is one of the poorest countries in Southeast Asia. They can't hold a candle to the Philippines. So don't give me that shit. Y'all lying. Okay, it's a thriving sex tourism industry over there. Yeah, the cost of living is a little bit lower, but it's the poorest. Okay, so don't give me that stuff. But I had no idea. But the stigma, man, that's associated with coming over here. I'm going to tell you, I'm at a disadvantage because I can't get one person to interview. And I'm not going to beg you. I don't want to intrude on your privacy. But hell, when 98% of the guys that I run into, they're trying to sneak over here and oh, somebody might see me. I'm like, dude, you a grown ass man. It's that stigma, man. That's in their subconscious mind. They know it's a stigma. So they don't tell anybody they're coming. They don't tell anybody that they're here. Because in the West, we're ignorant anyway. People don't know nothing about the Philippines. All they know is Manila, the bar girls, and poverty. That's it. They don't know anything about Philippines. They don't know anything about Boracay, Palawan, the coral reefs. They don't know any of that stuff. That the Philippines is, known for scuba diving and everything like that. Absolutely. He said, so basically, you have to spend a fortune. Yeah, and anybody that tells you that they don't, they're lying. Because when you add it all up, I tried to add up how much I've spent since I've been here for 7.5 years, almost 8 years. It made me physically sick. Okay, but at the same time, I'm living. Okay, but I've spent a lot of money over here, a fortune over here. It's a fortune. So yeah, you spend a lot because, man, and some people's like, I don't want to spend that kind of money, man. I just go over there. If it happens, it happens. If not, I want to travel around. I don't want to be tied down. Okay, but the stigma, man, associated with coming to the Philippines for a wife or girlfriend, it's there. Anywhere in Southeast Asia. All you got to do is go on to YouTube. That's all they know. They don't know that these are thriving places, civilizations, with rich cultures and all of that. They just think there's just a bunch of prostitutes standing around and all you're doing is spending your money. This is how ignorant we are about what's going on over here, guys. He said, man, there's some things over here. You're going to have to turn the other cheek if you're going to live here. It's a completely different culture. Culture is everything. And some people can't deal with it. But it's not to put the Philippines down. I'm thinking to myself, why do people always make these videos, but then they're still here? I know why. They're going to get views. But I mean, what did you expect? You think everywhere you go, it's going to look like America, which we're falling further and further behind, by the way. Okay, I don't know what America you're talking about. This isn't the 40s and 50s. We're not so far ahead of everybody now. Like we used to do. He said, guys have to stop jumping on the first thing that moves. I came there over 10 times over 3 years before I got a good one. And I met her in the Middle East. Yeah. Now, like I said, there's one thing about Filipinos that I'm going to tell y'all. All the ones I've dealt with, they're sneaky, Mr. T, Mrs. our babe's life. There's a lot about your woman that you don't know and she'll never tell you. Okay, they're very sneaky, guys. You never know what's hiding behind those eyes and that smile. You don't understand the language. Okay, they're always hiding something. Okay, so if you met over in the Middle East, there's no telling what was going on over there. So before you get on a high horse, okay, and make yourself seem better than everybody else, just know that they're sneaky. I discovered some shit about Maryland. She wasn't going to tell me. But I found it out myself. Yeah, but the stigma. Okay, the next one I got on the list, the hype doesn't match reality. Now, I'm going to read Raw Digital first. He said, just give it time. You can easily commit wanting, but you cannot easily income. Set zero expectation with every woman in advance, and she'll accept it in the beginning. Tam is the best truth teller. Yeah, we have to be patient, but men don't have any more patience for some reason. We want it fast, quick, and in a hurry. And over here, you have to go slow because otherwise you're going against the grain. Everything here is slow. Beach of Life, Thomas Marshall, Raymond. These guys live here. They can surround a lot. These guys know I'm not lying. So when they trying to speed you up, are you trying to speed yourself up, man? You got to slow down over here. You're going against the grain when you're moving too fast, and you're going to get in trouble. That's what's going to happen. You're going to eventually get in trouble. Well, that ain't going to happen. Okay, because I got on here. Okay, because we spoil them, right? And, pretty soon, they're going to want their way all the time. Tell them no, and you're going to set up a 5-alarm fire. This is what keeps these relationships together over here. We're not telling these women no. Okay? You can't say no what time to travel to the electric bill when it's time to eat. Okay? What are you telling them no for? Remember, it's easy to say no to unreasonable requests. If Merlin comes in here and asks me for an iPhone 17, that's easy, no. But she's not going to do that. Okay? You bleed slowly over here. Remember, gradually, then suddenly. But ain't no you got to learn to tell them no. A 70-year-old man is not going to keep a 25-year-old woman by constantly saying no, guys. Let's get that out of your head. Anybody telling you this, they're lying to you. When they tell you, oh, you got to learn to say no. Yeah, because they're saying no to unreasonable shit that anybody could say no. I could say no in my sleep. But the things that really matter, they're not saying no to. When that woman wants to get her hair done, when she wants to get her nails and stuff done, or she wants a motorcycle or something like that, you ain't saying no. And let me say this what times it travels. If you find yourself in a situation where you're constantly saying no, get the hell out of there. Okay, I'm sorry. He said, how's your house coming along, Ron? He said, yeah, they don't vet enough and don't pay attention to red flags. How can you see the red flags when you got your face stuck up in a bush, which is what most of us are doing? And then when somebody tells you about a red flag, oh, you hating. He's mad because I got her. But let's go to the other one. The hype doesn't match reality. Okay, now you know we built Filipinas up. The world has built the Filipino up she's way up here. And y'all know that. Okay. I'm part of that problem. But over the years, remember the 72-hour rule, when all that emotion subsides, you sit back and you look and you be like, you remind me of my ex-American wife with the shit you're pulling. You realize that they just, a woman is a woman. There ain't nothing special about them for real. Yeah, she's younger, a little bit more attractive, maybe a little bit more cooperative, for a reason, but after a while, you see right through that. Because we build them up, man. There is no perfect human beings. And it just the hype doesn't match the reality. They still bleed once a month. They have all that old tempo and all that old childish behavior like any other woman. They still can be a headache at times. They can be ungrateful at times. Like anybody else. And that's what usually happens. But if you get a good woman, which most of us do, don't let that go over your head. The majority of the women you're going to meet over here are good women who has good character, right? That'll override all that other stuff. You'll be like, okay, you're just a regular woman because I'm just a regular man. You don't put these high expectations on her because she can never live up to them. And this is what we do. We make it, we put them on such a high pedestal. They could never live up to the shit we give them credit for. It's impossible. And they'll try for a while to live up to that, but they're going to fail. He said, Unc, I got a real question for you. How do you deal with the smells? What smells? He said, I'm big on hygiene and being near a fishy woman. Well, to be honest with you, Filipinos are, the ones I've dealt with, let me keep it on me. They got great hygiene. Okay? But remember, they're just like any other woman. The guy was in the live stream the other day. He said he had a fine woman, a 12, he said, or 15, but a breath smelled like balut. And she knew it, and there was nothing she could do about it. He couldn't get past that. But for the majority of women that you're going to meet over here, man, they got great, hygiene. That's not going to be a problem. Okay? Why do you think, because the way you're saying this, Richard, it's like, what do you mean? How do you and other expats get used to it? What body odor? I'm not going to deal with no woman with no body odor. Who told you that? I don't get it. What do you mean? Who's telling you this stuff? I've been a lot of places, man. One thing I'm going to tell you about the Philippines, you're not going to, this may go over your head, but you're going to get far more. They're going to give you far more than you'll ever give them. You can't give them enough, man. I can never pay them back for leaving me alone and letting me enjoy my retirement. It is different over here than in America because people don't bother you. They don't bother me, man. That's enough for me. They leave me alone and let me enjoy my retirement. But you're going to get far more than you'll ever give. Most of us is getting old, man. We're taking over here. Because we're afraid, thinking everybody's going to scam you. You're going to scam yourself. What's up, I love LaChan? But no, I don't know where you're getting your information, Rashad. These women ain't stinking like that. They just aren't stinking like that, man. Yeah, the stigma is deep, King. I mean, how couldn't it be? Okay, what did you know about the Philippines before you start coming over here? I'm asking everybody that. You hear the same stuff about Thailand and all these places, because we're holier than thou over there. We're the biggest devils in America, but we make it seem like the rest of the world are the bad guys. Look at what they doing to Iran. They really got you convinced. Okay, I was reading, I read a post on Facebook. It said, the people who colonized the whole damn world want you to believe that fighting against colonialism is terrorism. This is how we've been brought up. This is the propaganda. We're the biggest devils over there. We're the biggest terrorists over there. But they make you feel like, okay, because all you see about these places, they don't show you the thriving cultures. These places go way back, long before the United States was established. All they do is tell you the bad stuff. This is part of our propaganda, our indoctrination. We're the greatest nation on the planet. Okay? But it's not true. So yeah, you do. When you come to a place like the Philippines, you know what's in your head. You got to be grown enough to get rid of all them old messed up teachings. Like you was able to get rid of all that stuff about Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and all that. It's the same thing when you come to places like this. He said, Cal, I have nothing to hide. I finally pushed the button and decided at the end of June, I'm going back. First time last year, I was hesitant on full-blown dating, but now I'm open. Number one is saving more money, though. Yeah. Now, how much money are you going to need? Okay. He said, my OFW. Yeah, they be doing some, they're not innocent, guys. Okay. Now, don't realize, don't get me wrong. I look at OFWs as heroes. As a matter of fact, the sacrifices they make, man, is just, it's out of this world. And now that we're on this subject, I brought this up on the members only yesterday. 2 OFWs were just killed by their employer in Lebanon, April 15th. They were shot to death. The police are calling it a hostage situation. This is what they deal with. So yeah, they're heroes in my eyes, man. But they're sneaky, man. They're sneaky, and they're human, and they get lonely too, man. And certainly, once a woman has already been satisfied, you've already pushed the button. She knows what that feels like. She's gonna have to get it again, man. It's different if she's never had a button pushed. But we're pushing their buttons. See, we're going to, remember I said we come over here, we're always going to lose over here. Because as men, y'all know this, we're going to pay directly and indirectly. Whether we're married or whatever it is, okay. The woman's in the win-win situation. Not only is she getting paid, but she's enjoying it too. Okay? We're paying for something that should be free. It's natural. It's like you going every time you step outside, you got to pay for the air you breathe. It's no different than sex. Okay, I'm talking about consenting adults, but that should be free. We shouldn't have to continuously pay for that. But she's getting paid and she's enjoying it. And she's enjoying it. He said, thanks everybody for the condolences. I truly appreciate it. Hard times, but Jaja's family has been amazing. Yeah, man, the pictures you sent me, man, it's just heartbreaking, man, to see you. I think you built his tomb, man. That man, it takes a strong human being, man. I'm sorry, I would have had to hire somebody, man. No way I could have did that. You're a bad man, Ron. I got big respect for you, bro. I mean, that's the facts. He said, don't let her walk past a mirror. Well, there's no mirror that they've never seen a mirror they didn't like. He says women know they look good, so you don't have to keep telling them. Man, we're so messed up. He said, don't do anything there you wouldn't do at home. But, you know, when I made the video about vetting, people seem to think, well, you don't vet the women at home. You know how much easier it is to vet a woman in your home country, fool? I should have took that comment out and put him on blast. You're talking about vetting a woman 8,000 miles. You know how difficult that is? That's not the easy task. You got to do more. I mean, just thinking about, this is what's so crazy, but we have made it normal, guys. We've lost our minds. It's not normal to be flying back and forth over here to see a woman. It's too far. I don't care with the technology and the airplanes and all that stuff. Okay? That's crazy when you think about it. But we made a lot of shit normal, and that's why rational thinking people look at us and like, y'all fools. What's wrong with you? And we're paying. Look at all the stuff we're doing, man. And then when somebody calls you crazy or a simp or something like that, you get mad. But when you add up everything you're doing, okay, what's the conclusion that anybody in their right mind would have? Fool done lost his damn mind. Flying all the way over there. He said, what the hell is a 12? I guess it's between a 10 and a 15. I guess you got to go by fives, don't we, Blizzard? But when you add up everything that we do, man, that's why it's important that at some point you got to make it about yourself. You got to do something because she's making it about herself, guys. Everything they do, they're going to benefit. It's for their benefit. Remember, you're paying her, and she's enjoying it. He said, they don't stink. I never smelled one before. Where are people getting their info from? I don't know. That's not true over here. But I guess there's women, like there's women anywhere, you know. That would be the exception to me. I've never met a woman that stunk over here. I don't know where that came from, Richard. I've never met a woman over here with a body odor like that. I don't know. Oh, yeah. Now, Life Without Limits stayed there. He sent me some pictures, man. He said, New Star's nice. It's expensive. He stayed there, I believe, his whole vacation the first time he came over here. That's on a whole other level, though. He sent me some pictures, man. That place is just amazing. But remember, you're in the Philippines. Your infrastructure depends on your bankroll. Okay, the more money you got, the more infrastructure you get. You can go to places here, man, and you wouldn't. Okay, you can go to some places here, and you would never think that you're in the Philippines. You might as well be in the West, or Singapore, or one of those places. But we don't have the money. Most people who come over here, we're middle class. So, you know, when we come over here, we're middle class. We're not staying in places like New Star. You might want to stay there like we stayed in the Cocoa Grove for those 3 nights. I mean, that squeezed my budget till it started crying. Because normally I don't pay $140 or whatever it was a night. But I just wanted to experience it. And every now and then we'll do something like that. But man, I can't afford that. He says, you can tell if a girl isn't clean and homeless. Yeah, I don't know where he got that. Came out of Kurbuska. Nobody's ever said that to me before. Okay, let's go to the next one. Upon further review. On my video, I said after further review, but same thing. Upon further review. Age gap, culture, it's a deal breaker. Some guys would be like, well, man, because you guys, okay, like me and Merle, okay, we're 19 years apart. But I'm 62, a healthy looking 62. She's 43. People don't even look twice at us. It's different when you're 55 and she's 22. I've only done it one time. You're going to be uncomfortable, guys. Can you handle that for real? Okay, when I was 50, let's see. How many years ago was that? 3 or 4, when the Dreamer, she's 22, I think I'm 59. She wasn't she was ashamed, but I was self-conscious. And see, most guys think, oh, you're just going to stay at the resort all day. No. You got to go to the mall, you got to be walking around and go to the restaurant, and people are going to stir a hole in you. And you say, oh, I don't care what people think, you're a lie. Okay? If you don't feel any kind of way and you walking around with these young women like that, then something's wrong with you. Because you know in your mind that you're doing something wrong. But yeah, it's I couldn't handle it, man. There's no way, I couldn't handle it. And then you got to understand, I'm in a situation where the Philippines is so small that everywhere I went, I knew that somebody was watching me, that, that maybe knew Merle. It was just uncomfortable, man. I'm glad it's over. I ain't going to do that again. I learned my lesson. But I'm saying, upon further review, and then you have that culture clash, and you start doing shit that they don't like. They start doing shit, you don't like, and then, because Maryland always thinks sometimes that I'm raising my voice when I'm not. It's just my regular tone, Maryland. And she gets upset, and some people can't handle that. They're like, that's okay. But the first time you walk around the mall or something with them young girls, man, that's going to tell the story. You're either it's going to make you or break you. You're going to be saying, okay, I'm okay with it or I'm not. Or you have to go to the embassy and you got some young woman with you. Okay. Well, that's what helped me in my 40s. See, when I was dealing with my son's mother and my wife, my ex-wife, I was 46, she's 25. But I look young for my age, so it wasn't no big deal. But it's different when you're 59 and 22 and the woman looks 22. She looks 18. Okay. No, you don't. It's not what they know. It's what you know. Picasso, it's not your daughter. Okay. And the crazy things that's going through their mind. Remember, even though they're not going to, they don't really care, they tolerate it. It's not, this is what people don't understand. It's really not okay over here. But they tolerate it because of the situation. They're not really okay with that, man. I told y'all that when I was with my buddy John down there in Cebu, when he saw the guy looked to be in his 50s, the girl looked to be in her 20s. Oh, he was fired up. I had never seen a Filipino act that way. But John's the real deal. He was just like, I don't like that, man. I'm like, what? Because he caught my, I'm somewhere. I wasn't even paying attention. I see it so much. I was like, what are you talking about? He said, right there. We was in Mactan, Newtown. And the guy walks out of the condo. He looks to be he's a grizzled looking 57 probably. And the woman's a beautiful looking 22 or 23. And he hit the roof. He's like, yeah, we don't like that. And I was like, what? Yeah. Hey, Blizzard Bro, thank you, man. I appreciate you, brother. Remember his live stream is tomorrow at 10 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, guys. Let's live stream bomb him. Everybody that's on here, let's go on there, man. Just one time. And I'm going to show you that his live streams, the topics and stuff, is just as good as mine. There's nobody on there, though. He needs our support. Blizzard Abroad. 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. That would be what? Saturday? No, that would be Friday, wouldn't it? Blizzard. Okay, it would be 10 a.m. Saturday morning here. I'll be on there, man, but thank you for that super chat, brother. Hey, Icy, welcome back to the membership. I appreciate you. I've been hearing a lot about Japan lately. Did you hook up with Blizzard Abroad when he was there? I'm sure you did. Y'all at least had lunch or something. But I was reading something about the pensioners over there and their shoplifting. What's going on with that? He says, hey, Thomas, sir, I was in the Philippines last in 2024. Is New Star new? No, it's in Cebu, right before you get to that new bridge. That new bridge that goes over, what's the name of that place? Is it Cordova? From Cebu? You'll see it. That's no joke. That New Star. It just rises up like the damn Taj Mahal or something. No, it's way too much for my budget, but is Life with No Limits still on here? He stayed there, man, like for a whole week or something. Okay. Oh, okay. You were in the States. Wow. I thought for sure y'all ran into each other. That would have been a good collaboration. Yeah, he said New Star is one way in and one way out. What are you talking about? That's a beautiful place, man. I never heard of it until Life with No Limits. And he sent me those pictures, man. I was like, where in the world are you? Thailand or some damn word? No, he's right there in Cebu. But there's plenty. Yeah, he said, yeah. There he is. He said, yeah, it's across from Seaside. Yeah, SM Seaside. It just rises up like the Taj Mahal. It's a beautiful place, man. It's just beyond. I may stay there one night eventually just to stay. I stayed there. But man, how many days did you stay there, Life Without Limits? He says, I watched them build that and the bridge. Yeah, get the likes up, guys. He says he's trying to talk me into going. Right. You know, that's the thing about Maryland. See, Maryland, you know, she ain't like that. I could take her to some of these places and she's impressed hell with a 2-star. I'm not saying that she's the exception because a 2-star hotel still costs. Like the one we were in Pang Lao, that MGH, that's a 2-star, okay, with $70 a night. I'm trying to think the nicest place we've ever stayed. I'm trying to think. I believe it's the one in Iloilo that's connected to the mall. I can't think of the name of that place. Wow. He says, I was there for a week. Yeah, I spent the other week in Moncton and Movenpick. Yeah, and see, when I came to my second trip to the Philippines, Movenpick used to be the Hyatt. The Hyatt sold it to Movenpick. I stayed there for 2 nights. And hell, it was $4,000 a night then in 2009. It was the weekend. I was staying there when Michael Jackson died. Okay, because me and the girl, we were in the taxi cab on the way back to the hotel when the news came over that Michael Jackson had died. Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna come out there. I'm gonna ask everybody, man. Let's show out for Blizzard, man. All it takes is one time to shock that algorithm. It may push him out there because that's what happens to every channel. They get an influx of viewers or on the live stream or something. He says he loves the fried chicken and spaghetti. I tell you what, uh, the only chicken I really eat here, well, I'm going to tell you the best fried chicken I've had in the Philippines. I'm not talking about other than Maryland's in that air fryer, is the Pancake House. But it takes them forever, man. Wow, 60 grand. What, for 1 week? Yeah. That would be 1,000 right now. So when you came at that time, I know it wasn't 60. But yeah, if you really want good crispy chicken, go to the Pancake House, man. It's just gonna take you. If you with your girl, y'all both order the chicken. Cause if you order the pancakes, they're gonna be there in 5 minutes, and the chicken gonna be there in 20 minutes. Then by the time the chicken comes, your pancakes are cold. What's up, Beach Your Life? He said, yeah, shout out to Blizzard Live. Yeah, let's go, man. I'm serious, guys. Let's show up tomorrow. I'm going to be disappointed. I'm going to call y'all out on my next live stream if you're not on there. Sarana Lot said, Atmosphere Resort in Darwin area is where a lot of rich Filipinos go. I spent $30,000 for my own 2-bedroom suite. Well, best steak I had in the Philippines. I've never heard of that place. Thanks, Prayer Graphics. Yeah, because y'all don't understand how you can help a channel like that. Remember, I didn't always have 70,000 subscribers. You know, most of my videos get 4,000 or 5,000 views, which is a lot for me. You know, I don't have any special effects or anything. You know, I'm just in the mix with all these other vloggers. But that's what happened. People would collab with me. They let me come on their channel. Because when I had Mad Matt, that's the reason I did that for him. And that's why I told him. I said, I just introduced you to my audience. Most of them know you anyway, but that's the least I can do. Somebody did it for me. I just think we need to do that. Yeah, let's show up for Blizzard. Lechon. I only eat lechon. I like the skin now. I'm not too high on the meat. I like the I like the skin. What's up, Jack, man? Long time no see. I was just in Dumageddon, man. I'd have loved to see you and Jai. This is the real deal right here. This guy right here, if you ever meet him. He's going to smoke 10 cigarettes, though, but that's okay. It's his life, but this is a good guy. Now, remember I was talking about buying used stuff? Be careful. He bought a 2009 Nissan something from another foreigner. Man, this guy got a good deal on this little car. Y'all still got that car, Jack? Because when we went to Bohol, they really showed us around in Bohol. We went to some places I never went to before. We went back across the bridge to some coffee place that was overlooking a river. I'm like, but anyway, this little car, man, had aircon. It rolled good, man. For 160,000. Now, see, I would buy something like that. But yeah, Jack's a good guy, man. He really is. Robert Pitts. He said, yeah, I'm there. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, if you're not on there, I'm going to call you out, guys. He said they were saying Dumaguete is the best place. I already said it's one of the safest places now, but I like Dumaguete. I don't know, we're getting the wrong impression of Dumaguete, y'all. Okay, you got to go there. You're not even going to see those guys that you think you're going to see. They live up in Valencia, maybe another 20 minutes or something away. And it's only just a handful of them. That boulevard is nice. And let me say this, guys. There's beautiful women everywhere. But it just seems like, I guess because Dumaguetes are smaller than Cebu and all those places, it just seems like you see more. I mean, they just got some foxes, man. I mean, no matter where you go in Dumaguete, it's just the beautiful women in Dumaguete, man. But I like Dumaguete. I said I couldn't live there before, but I changed my mind. I could live there in that Marina Spatial. What's up, Derek? He's a big, now, if anybody goes to Bangkok, this is the guy to see right here. He's got a big Facebook group. Don't y'all meet once a month or something? They got a lot of Big Shirleys in Bangkok, but hell, Big Shirleys, I got to tip my hat to them. They done got out of the Matrix. I ain't got nothing against Big Shirley. But yeah, Derek Casanavas is the guy to see in Bangkok. He said, I'm put off by the Trumpers in Dumaguete. That's what this guy said to me, but if you don't bring that stuff up, and you're not gonna see them. I know it's very romantic. I love going there, man, and being in Starbucks and we're, drinking coffee, looking out on the boulevard and the traffic and the ocean right there. Or just walking up and down the that boulevard. But that's what he said to me. The guy I told you that was trying to sell me the sunglasses. I don't know why he said that. No, he said, I know you anti-Trump. I said, I'm anti all of them. But he said the reason I bring that up is because there's a lot of, Trump supporters in Dumaguete, which I knew that anyway, but I don't blame him. I mean, I don't be bothered with him. He said, where Q at today? Now there's the link, guys, to Blizzard Abroad. He says, I'm going to Bangkok and Patty in November. You're going to love it, man. We're going. We're trying to negotiate a 60-day leave, man, but it's going to be hard with Booby and Sophia here. We were going to do 30 days in Thailand and 30 days in Vietnam. That's our goal. I don't know if we're going to be able to pull it off. That's a long time being away when you got 2 grade schoolers. But we're at least going to do 30 days. See, I got to be in Manila in June to get Booby's social security number. And I'm thinking we're just going to leave from there. We're going to at least do 30 days. We're going to see. We'll take it by ear. Because her mother is so good at what she does, we may be able to pull it off. I don't know how long Maryland's going to be able to stay gone before she starts missing them, but I'd love to do 30 days in Vietnam and 30 days in Thailand, because I need to go back to Thailand. I was only there for 5 days and 5 nights. It wasn't long enough. I fell in love with Beach Road and Patio. But then Jeffrey Tatter hooked me up with Mr. Lee. See, that made all the difference in the world. Excuse me. Then I had my buddy Eric Terry. He goes first class, everything he does. So he made the trip all the better. He said Bangkok. But yeah, okay. The next one, because let's finish this off before I get off here. Upon further review, we talked about. Now, men are reluctant to step into a ready-made family. And a lot of times if you're dealing on that dating site, that's what you're looking at. And a lot of guys are saying, I'm too old for that, or I'm too young for that. I'm not ready for that. So what we end up doing, and the guy was right, he said, Cal, those guys come over there, they build houses, they get married, they have kids. And what we subconsciously do, because I did it, is we come over here and create the life that we swear that we're trying to escape from. But you subconsciously do it. You just look up and you've done it. I'm saying don't do it. But that's what happens, but a lot of men are reluctant to do that. Because a lot of the single mothers over here, man, are really some of the best women on the dating site. Can you find one? Absolutely you can. You can find a single woman over here with no kids and stuff like that. Oh, okay. He said we bought a brand new car. Okay, gave the little orange Kia to her family. She's still rolling, yeah. Well, that would be a good car to give. Don't be like the guy who bought the woman. And I got the pictures in the video. The guy bought the woman the big ass truck. And he's in for 5 years for the loan, $2.5 million. Buy the woman a house, a rent her a place. He said Vietnam's a nice place. It really is. It really is. I love Vietnam. We fell in love with it. If it was some kind of way we could figure that one out, because I was told, and I'm gonna check myself. I can't go by what people say, that those international schools there are very expensive. Now, I haven't been to Malaysia yet. He said, I'm doing 6 weeks here. Yeah, see, that's another thing, see, that you inadvertently, you back into like that. Man, see, I don't mind. I grew up in a big family, but, at 62, now I'm raising, a 12-year-old and a 5-year-old. Booby will be 6. That's a lot that goes along with that. You always worry, are they okay? And then, Booby might get up on the wrong side of the bed. But yeah, a lot of guys are reluctant. He said, I'd be reluctant too, Cal. Yes, high stakes it is. And these are just some of the reasons why men decide, I don't want to get married. I don't want a Filipino girlfriend. It's nothing against the Filipinos, just all of these circumstances that are staring at you far more than these 10. But we try to share the information. We're not putting anybody down. We're not hating on anybody, anything like that. One of the biggest problems with men coming over here is we don't have the information. Or we get the wrong information. But yeah, men are reluctant to step into that role that they stepped out of or was thrown out of in their country. So then they come over here and it's the same thing waiting for you. Okay, the same, hey, where you been and where you going and all that. You get mad at each other. You're walking around the house and not saying each other. You're not saying anything to each other. All of that happens over here. The next one is the pressure to move fast. Remember, we talked about this earlier. Don't fall for that. Everything moves slow over here. They can tell you. Thomas can tell you. All these guys, Beach of Life, all these guys, Rain, it moves slow, so slow it'll drive you crazy. But now all of a sudden, what's your plans for me? Oh, you're going to get the visa? What are you going to do? Let's get married. Move me in. Oh, you don't love me if you don't move me in. Oh, let's have a child. You don't love me if we don't, they try their best to get pregnant. The ones that can. If you don't want that, because here's what he said. He says, I have a no kids camp. Well, you might as well get with one of these old Sallies over here that the uterus is dried up like a raisin. Okay, he said, I'm hesitant in dating single mothers, dealing with, what are you saying? Oh, dealing with son, husbands. What are you talking about? It's a nightmare, but I bet it's different in a place like the Philippines and the Dominican. Well, not really, man. It's, people are people. It's a connection. We're all connected. This is what, there are cultures there, but some guy said, well, Filipino men don't have to do none of that stuff. Yeah, well, you're not Filipino either. This is what you're signing up for. Because he's not, what? Thank you, Booby. He's not going to get the same treatment you're getting either. Yeah, Booby. Yeah, it can be. I just don't see, like I said, the woman's in the win-win situation. We're paying directly and indirectly.
It's mine.
What? Oh, there. She's not only getting paid, but she's enjoying it too. Yeah, the province. Some people like that province. San Carlos is like, it's a city, but it has that small town feel to it. And you get used to that. But then when you go to places like Manila, Cebu, Dumaguete, you be like, man, I miss it. You really want that sometimes. I like to be around a lot of people sometimes, not every day. What's up, D Styles? Oh, man, I missed most of the live, and my Knicks lost. What a night. Yeah, I'm going to catch the replay. Salute, Cal. Thank you. Now, what are they in? A best of 7 series, or what are the Knicks in? Yeah, he said it does move super slow. But they'll try to pressure you. What's your plans for me? And then after a while, they expect you to marry them. It's like, dude, what do you mean? Wait, hold on. I don't even know your middle name. Oh, yeah, right. That's a hack that I tell people. Don't go to the store on the weekends. And don't go in the evening. Go Monday through Thursday, early morning when people are at work and at school. Otherwise, good luck. Hey, thanks, brother. See you later. Yeah, it's in the middle because it's surrounded by all these mountains and stuff. But it's actually a Class 2 city. He said, I really like Darwin, yeah. I lived there 6 months, about a 10-minute motor ride to Dumaguete, yeah. But I used to live in Zamboanguita in 2010 before anything was there. Now they've got resorts in there and stuff there. That, where they got that resort, that was just a beach at that time. We used to just go down there and just walk the beach, but now it's like a resort there now. Either one, you can't go wrong, but if you don't like a lot of traffic, even Cebu's traffic is getting bad, but it's not Manila traffic, but either one, man, you're not going to, that's a toss-up to me, because I used to say I couldn't live in Manila, but when we took Booby there to get her CRBA and we was there for 2 weeks, to do the DNA, I fell in love with Manila. I was like, hell, I could live here. Because you got to find your spot and just stay there, like Makati, BGC, Ermita. It's just so much to do, man, at either one. Yeah, San Carlos City is a great place, Thomas. But I grew up in the city, and I like the city. That's why I loved Ho Chi Minh City so much. But who knows what would happen if I stayed there longer than 2 weeks. But them 2 weeks, I was mesmerized. I liked all those high rises and cars going back and forth and all the goings on. But then what I love about San Carlos City, I get up in the morning, I can walk. There's no cars on the road. Nobody's out. I went walking at 6:24 this morning. But the next one is, it's too many, the trouble you have to go through to get her home. Because believe it or not, a lot of guys, thank you, Andrew, for the super sticker. A lot of guys, they don't want to retire here. They want to bring their woman home. Well, it's a lot of trouble getting your woman home. It's long. It takes longer now than it did. My wife was approved in 6 months, but okay, she failed her first physical. Okay, because of her sputum test came up positive. So she had to take that over. She had to take a sample and they had to let that cultivate for 6 months. Well, she passed. But then her physical expired because we didn't know that our son was CRBA. We didn't know he was a U.S. citizen. That's how I knew. So they go to the interview and she doesn't pass the interview because they said he's not K2. He's a U.S. citizen. You got to get his CRBA. So while we're waiting on the CRBA, the medical expires. So she has to go through the medical again. Sputum test fails again. Wait 6 months. But anyway, it was quick because my son's mother, when she got brought over by her ex-husband, 3 months. It used to take only from 3 to 6 months. Now, hell, people are waiting 2 years and, 15 months and whatever. Because, I don't know if they've ever caught up from this damn, the lockdown. Now, even where Raymond lives, he lives in Las Piñas. That's another place. What did you get? What did you buy?
The fruits.
What kind of fruit? Why's your face so red? Is it that hot out there?
Huh?
Is it that hot out there? It's hot here, guys. Merlin's face looks like a tomato. It does. It looks like this. It's so red. It's hot right now. He said, I like it here in Manila. You have to give yourself time. For me, the traffic's the only thing. Yeah. For somebody like me that don't drive, Manila can get expensive because of the grabs and everything. But as far as the food and people's like, if you got a problem with finding food in the Philippines, then move to a place like Cebu or Manila or one of those places, Davao, General Santos. You're not going to have any problems. And Thomas makes a great point. Immigration. See, it cannot be considered an expat alley city unless you have immigration, an airport, a seaport, Grab. There's a few other things, the malls, the hospitals, the big hospitals. Every expat alley city has those things. Other expats. Yeah, I'm probably just going to eat.
There's adobo there.
Oh, a chicken adobo?
Yes.
Your mother made it?
Yes.
Oh, okay. I was going to eat tuna fish. But hey, guys. He said, nice shirt, Cal. Hey, man, I'm going to tell you, this guy, he built him a nice house over in Thailand. He sent me a Balikbayan box one time. And he sent me nothing but just high quality stuff. I mean, these shirts are old. They're about 4 years old. He sent me this color, orange one, purple, darker blue one than this. Man, you used to see the towels he sent. We haven't even used them. I mean, there's those big, thick towels. I won't say his name, but yeah, he's a good guy. He built a nice house in Thailand. Yeah, yeah, she's red. Yeah. He says, where I am is an expat out. Absolutely, it is. You're in Metro Manila. What's up, Don? Yeah, it's Expat Alley. He said, Cal tried that Mexican place in Bacala. It was good, but the salsa was off. Yeah, yesterday I tried the chicken burrito. It wasn't as good as the chicken fajitas I had, but, you know, that's authentic Mexican food. They're eventually going to get it right. It's not like some of these places you go to where it's all sweet. You know, the tacos got the sweet sauce on it. You know, that was real Mexican food. Yeah, they take too long to dry. He said my K1 took a long time, but it was partly because my fiance was stalling. She didn't want to leave the Philippines. Yeah, I'd have kicked her ass. But the CFO class that they take, if ever, you go through that process, they're trying to scare your wife or your fiance into not coming. So if ever anybody tries to come at me, a Filipino, like, hey, look, you talk bad about the Philippines, this and that. No, I'm just telling the truth like they tell the truth in those CFO classes. They give you the nitty gritty, okay, in those CFO classes, guys. They tell them everything bad about these Western countries. Human trafficking, domestic violence, everything to try to scare the bejesus out of them girls and make them change their mind, because my wife told me, she said, seemed like the people in there, they were jealous that we had got the visa. They didn't want us to go. But that's what they do. He said, Cal, I've noticed when me and go to the Philippines, even with our foot on the brakes, not looking for a relationship, we end up crashing into a marriage. So please make a video on not falling too fast. I just made one. Then I got, a lot of people are watching it. It's like 25,000 views, but I said men are avoiding the Philippines because of this. Exactly what you're saying, Tony. We get caught up. But then you get Smooth Tyrone and other people making videos saying that I'm telling people not to get married. No, I'm not. I'm saying that there's a high degree of probability when you come to the Philippines that those things I was talking about is going to happen. You're going to get married. You're going to have a live-in partner. You may have children. You may go broke. You may die, get sick, and divorced. Yeah, the fajitas are good. He said, Cal, the steak fajitas were on point. I spent 2,000 pesos at that place for 3 of us. Yeah, I'll send you a pic later. Yeah, the prices are reasonable, though, because my whole lunch, I had a chicken burrito, I had a Coke, and then I had a coffee while I'm waiting on my order. It was only 568 pesos. It wasn't even $10. And I'm talking about, man, that burrito is a real burrito. But the best Mexican food in the Philippines that I've had, if you're ever in Bantayan Island, is the Bantayan burrito. It's either factory place. It's delicious. Everything on their menu. Because it was a foreign man, he's trying to, me and Merlin, we were sitting there waiting for our breakfast, and he came over, he said, hey, I guess it was his place. He said, hey, if you like Mexican food, come over here and try this. And I'm thinking, well, whatever. And we didn't. But the next day we did. And man, their breakfast burrito is so delicious. I mean, you don't need anything. It's already seasoned and everything. But of course, I like the sour cream and, the sauce and everything like that. Yeah, I mean, why would you talk about the place? I mean, I think it's classless when you do that. I think you're showing, you know, you have no class when you do that. That'd be like you stand in the guest house, then when you leave, you go make a video. Oh man, this place is terrible, roaches and everywhere, and you wouldn't do that, would you? But that's what we do. I mean, they got the full menu though. They playing the Mexican music in the background, but it'll fool you, won't it, Saran, a lot because the building looks deserted. I made like a little 3-minute video. I forgot to attach it, but I'm just gonna put it out there as a short because I want y'all to know because people, we love Mexican food over in America, and that's one complaint. People's like, man, the Philippines needs more authentic Mexican places. Well, that's the fourth one. They've got one in Boracay on the D Mall, on that strip where all the Western restaurants are. D Mall, somewhere in between Station 2 and Station 3. They've got a Mexican place with real Mexican food. So I've had 4 places. You don't have to do anything. Just let me know. Give me a day or so before you show up. I mean, if you come to St. Carlos City, like I said, I like people to stay there. It gives them, a couple of days. You don't have to spend any money, but we've got some nice places here. We've got, man, when y'all see the Mawani, you're not going to recognize this place. It's huge now. I believe I believe they're going to have condos in them because they got the 7-Eleven there. I mean, man, this place is crazy. But Carmel's Inn is new. The engineer who built my house, his family owns that. We got the Palau. We've got the Bella Dama. And, we got the YMB, is it YMB Business Hotel? Those are like the ones that are really nice. And then you got a bunch of, second tier. But Awani, Palau, Belladama, YB, and Carmel's. It'll be like the first tier. But for St. Carlos City to be so small, it's got some real good food here, man. I mean, they've got 3 places that just are absolutely good. The Palau Hotel, their restaurant is good. Of course, Malwani and then Mr. C. We eat at the outdoor. I mean, you ain't going to have a problem. For this little place, he said, Cal, one day I'd also like for you to speak about what it takes for a relationship to last forever, but it seems like it's taken for granted. Easy route is just to have them all. Well, you got to take your time, man. You got to deal with a woman. Here's our problem before I get off of here. Well, yeah, because I already went through all of them. The problem is we're going by what the women look like, Tony. We're just going by the outside. A lot of the women, the overwhelming majority of the women that are serious about meeting somebody, they're going to have good character. You just got to take your time and find one. Somebody you can get along with because you're not going to have anything in common with them. It's not like you at home. You're going to create that the longer you're together. Just like Marilyn said yesterday, I love Johnny Gill because I introduced her to Johnny Gill. And other things, that's really how because honestly, Filipinos, they are hard to get along with if you find the right one because they're cooperative. Their culture teaches them that. Hey, thank you, 2-week billionaire, for the super chat. He said, put some respect on a brother's name, Sunshine Shoulders, man. Thank you. But thank everybody for your super chat, super stickers, all your thumbs up, all your support for Sunshine Shoulders. I'm going to have the meet and greet, man. It's going to be for Marilyn's birthday. Her birthday's May the 8th. So it's going to be, let me look on the calendar real quick. And I'll have the exact time and everything. Let's see what the calendar is. And I'll tell you. Okay. Her birthday is, well, let me go back. I don't want to buy the damn camera. I don't want to buy the calendar. Okay, let's see. Let's see, May. Okay, here. Her birthday is going to be on a Friday. So I'm going to try to make that meet and greet either May the 9th or May the 16th. Okay? They're so into, they try to have their party on the day of their birthday, even if it's on a Tuesday. But I like to do it on the weekend, like a Saturday. But it's either going to be the 8th, the 9th, or the 16th. But I'll let y'all know. But take care, y'all. I really appreciate all y'all support, man.